Welcome to Beating Cancer Daily. Beating stage 4 cancer for 30 years still takes my breath away every time I say it. I'm Saranne, founder of the Comedy Cures Foundation, and I hope you'll join me for just a few minutes daily for the next 365 days so we may laugh, learn, maybe cry a little as we live our best days beating cancer daily together. I say this every time I have this very special guest, and I bet you already know who it's going to be. It is Jacqui Bryan. She is our stellar certified nutrition specialist, RN, certified health coach, whole health educator, functional medicine, just really special person to Comedy Cures. And I can't wait for today's topic. I think you're going to love it. Jacqui, welcome to Beating Cancer Daily.
Hi, Saranne. I am so excited to be here. I'm super excited to talk about antioxidants with you.
Oh, you told them. Yay.
Oh, was it a surprise?
I was trying to think of a riddle. So I knew it was something that usually we associate anti with bad. So I want to understand this whole field of antioxidants because I heard a rumor that it actually makes you look younger.
It does.
Wow. Okay, then let's hear.
It is a true rumor for sure. I think just the word antioxidant sounds kind of badass. What do you think?
I think so. That's why I was trying to think of a riddle. You know, it is Comedy Cure, so I was trying to be super clever, but I was like, oh my gosh, the riddle's not coming to the tip of my tongue. I better just get on with it.
Well, what is an antioxidant? These are actually man-made substances or natural substances that prevent or even delay some types of cell damage, even aging, like you were just talking about, can help. The word antioxidant is a general term for any compound that can counteract unstable molecules that we know as free radicals. And these are not people from the 60s. You heard me say that before. Free radicals are really these rogue cells that can damage DNA. They can damage cell membranes and really other parts of your cells in your body.
You know what? It all sounds very 60s, like radicals, anti. I wonder if this was all discovered in the 60s because it's got a very 60s tone to it.
Well, when I became really interested in this was when I had been diagnosed with cancer, breast cancer, and that was 20 years ago. And one of the reasons that I became interested was when I started to learn that food had some healing powers. And that's really where I jumped on this bandwagon of learning and understanding what are some of the things that I can do to help prevent these free radicals from damaging my body.
And you're cancer-free now, right? According to the medical team that you work with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, as free as they are willing to give you when it spreads to your lymph nodes. So I'm free right now, which is good. Right.
You know, it's amazing because, you know, of that myth that we all have cancer, circulating cancerous cells, but our immune systems wipe them out. So it's always funny to say to someone, are you cancer free? Because in our heads, we're going, well, not really, because our immune system's sweeping it out. But yes, I am, according to the scans. So
my immune system is kicking butt right now. It is. So I'm in good shape. I'm in good shape right now.
But that's why we rely on your information, because you really took a deep dive into not only how to keep yourself really healthy, but you've made a commitment to keeping others healthy, not only through your courses, your private practice, but all the instruction that you give to hospital workers too. So Jacqui is a bad ASS, people.
Well, let's dive in and talk about these free radicals and the antioxidants that can help us. I think it's really important for us to understand antioxidants. We actually need to take a step back and have a deeper understanding of what free radicals actually are and what they can do to our bodies. I think you and I, Saranne, know for sure what they can do because it is one of the rogue cells that's implicated in cancer. So for those of you that are experiencing inflammation in your body, this is something that we really want to pay attention to. So what are free radicals? I'm going to start off by getting just a little bit heady. Bear with me. I'm not taking you fully back to biology class, but I think it's important to understand what these free radicals are. They're oxygen containing molecules that are highly reactive and they're unstable. Free radicals are actually atoms or even groups of atoms with an unpaired or an odd number of electrons that can be formed when oxygen interacts with certain molecules. And that sounds like a big mouthful, but pretty much to bring it down to a level of understanding is that it's a byproduct of the way our body metabolizes certain nutrients. And it's important for people to understand that you cannot eliminate free radicals. We all have them, but we can help our body manage them better. To dive just a teeny bit deeper into free radicals, when an atom loses an electron, it becomes unstable. And that's where it becomes this free radical. And these free radicals try to steal electrons from other molecules. And in their attempt to steal these electrons, they actually damage those molecules. And that's that cascade of event that can happen that can cause problems, and it can get out of control and lead to inflammatory conditions like cancer, heart disease, diabetes. Once these free radicals are formed, those reactive cells have like a domino effect. And then they lead to further cell damage. And when we get too many of these free radicals, this overabundance of free radicals, we have that cellular damage, the DNA damage, and that's what we call oxidative stress. That's an overload of these free radicals, and our immune system cannot keep up. And this is where we start seeing things like accelerated aging, a weakened immune system, cancer, neurological degenerative diseases like Alzheimer's. It just leaves you vulnerable, right? So an overabundance of free radicals leaves you vulnerable to disease. So did that create a compelling why we want to pay attention to these guys, Saranne?
I am all ears, Jacqui, all ears. I'm still waiting for the part about looking younger.
Well, by the end, I hope you're going to see some of these magic pearls of wisdom that will help. But I think understanding how free radicals happen, we understand that they are a normal metabolic body process. They're the result of a normal metabolic body process. When we break down nutrients, it gives us the energy we need to function. They can also happen from exposure to environmental toxins like ultraviolet rays, medical radiation, pollution, viruses, chemicals, cigarette smoke. All of these can cause free radicals. And
wait 1 second. What about cleaning supplies? Are there certain cleaning supplies?
yes, so such a good question. So any of these toxins that upset our body, create an imbalance are going to be problematic and potentially create free radicals. And there's lots of good resources for people to learn about different types of products and personal care products, cleaning products. One of my favorite is the Environmental Working Group. They have a fabulous nonprofit website that they can go to, and they are a industry watchdog for chemicals and things like that in our environment. That would be a really good podcast actually to think about, because these are super important for us to think about. And what makes me sad, Saranne, is that it would be so nice to think that the manufacturers of some of these goods would be thinking about our long-term health, but they're not. And so we need to be advocating for ourselves and be informed consumers. And the Environmental Working Group has these consumer guides that are fabulous. So I highly recommend that you check them out. They're just excellent.
I've also listened to some of their talks, the webinars they give, and it's really powerful, especially around sunscreen. Mm-hmm. Really interesting about sunscreen. All sunscreens are not created equal. But you know who jumped on this? A famous comedian, Fran Drescher. from The
Okay.
Nanny. Do you remember
Mm-hmm.
that show?
Yes, yes.
She originally started focusing on her kind of cancer and then has really pivoted to the environmental influences on all cancers. So, Fran, I'm not sure if she's working with EWG, but she's certainly talking about it and bringing her nanny fame to that topic. But go on,
Well,
go on.
but that's what we need. We need people to bring attention to these issues. It's really important. I would say my focus is to bring attention to it, but then also empower people, because I think this whole topic can actually be terrifying for people, because we cannot get away from all these toxins. We cannot get away from the plastics. They're just everywhere. And so if you don't feel empowered when it comes to all of this, you're in that victim role. And that's certainly not a place that we want to be. So we can recognize that we all have free radicals in our body, but there are certain things that we can do that can make our situation better, or it can make our situation worse. And that's really what we're going to be talking about today, is understanding what this role antioxidants have in our body. I mean, antioxidants are incredible. They sort of swoop in. They're like superheroes. They come in and they neutralize those free radicals. So if you have a visual of, a little cell, a little circle, and it has these electrons on the outside of it, and it's unstable and it feels like it needs to run around and grab electrons from other areas or other cells. The antioxidants come in, they swoop in, and they either render that free radical harmless, they neutralize it, or they very kindly share the gift of giving it an electron to make it stable again. So it's a really amazing, an amazing thing to understand. But when it makes sense, I think people will really want to flood their body with these antioxidants that are just nourishing in so many different ways. So I think the antioxidants are a wonderful first step for any person that is trying to improve their health. And so let's talk a little bit about what we can do about it. So we understand antioxidants are going to come in, neutralize the free radicals by either taking them out of commission or giving them one of the electrons so that they can be stable. And now we want to think about, where can we get these antioxidants? And Hippocrates said, "Let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food." Right. And that's a really strong statement. And that's really where antioxidants fall in. They have a very strong medicinal component in our body. Many of the plant chemicals, we call them phytochemicals or phytonutrients, phyto meaning plant. These are actually found in a lot of our foods that we eat, the plant-based foods, and they are rich in antioxidants. These nutrients that are in these types of plant-based foods stop the formation of those free radicals and may reduce the damage that they cause to our body. So yes, those lemons, like we talked about in one of our first podcasts together, the broccoli, the kale, and the Brussels sprouts can help. And
I just want to tell people that your smoothie episode is so helpful for this topic. If you haven't heard the episode that Jacqui and I did on smoothies, you must finish this one and then rush and listen to that one, because ever since I learned from Jacqui about the power of fruit and plants and vegetables and smoothies, I am just like a antioxidant machine.
Well, and I think it's interesting, Saranne, because behavior change is hard, right? And one of the things I do in my practice that I really like to focus on with people is having them view a behavior change through a different lens, to see it rather than, I got to eat my 5 fruits and vegetables, or I've got to eat, more, cleaner foods. And, people get really negative about it. When you understand the power of these foods, it goes from being I have to gosh, I really want to. And that's really where, the person's driving the bus in their own healthcare journey. And that's what we want. We want people to feel empowered. one of the reasons that the diets that are higher in fruits and vegetables are so beneficial is because of these antioxidants and their ability to reduce the effects of free radicals. And it's been found through many studies that it reduces the risk of certain diseases. All the ones that we were talking about earlier, any of those inflammatory diseases, because those fruits and vegetables are a good source of antioxidants. And maybe we could talk, since you already chimed in on the aging benefits, how antioxidants can help with aging. It does that by just reducing the free radicals, the effect of free radicals in the body. So that's certainly one of the really important benefits of antioxidants. But on the inside, it actually protects our vision. You can find antioxidants in vitamin C, vitamin E, and even beta carotene, because those are actually really helpful in preventing degenerative eye disease, such as macular degeneration. That's something actually that runs in my family. And when we think about the eyes, what is good for the eyes is also good for the brain. So antioxidants are very important when it comes to brain health. And we actually just had our health builder class on building a better brain. And one of the main categories was focusing on antioxidants, because we know that oxidative stress, which is that buildup of too many free radicals, has been shown to be a huge factor in neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's, dementia, any of those types of conditions where we see a loss in memory and cognitive function in some of our patients. We also know that antioxidants can help prevent heart disease. It protects the cells. It can help with other inflammatory diseases in addition to heart disease, like diabetes and cancer. I think I like to think of antioxidants as, somebody that's on my healthcare team, somebody that's protecting me. And it's my job to make sure that I bring those in. And as a 20-year cancer survivor, and you know what this was like, because how many years has it been for you, Saranne?
Well, 30 since I was misdiagnosed, and 24 since I was diagnosed, and 21 since I'm cancer free. It's a miracle, honestly.
It's amazing. And what I think about is that when you are given such a serious diagnosis, it changes the way you view things. You want to make the changes. You want to be able to feel in control of something in your life. And this is absolutely something that we can control, which is bringing in more of these antioxidants. We talked about the benefits of the aging of the skin. That's one benefit, not only aging, but also that appearance of wrinkles, right? I mean, there are some people that use vitamin C on their skin. We've had estheticians, or I've had estheticians I've talked to about some of the benefits of using antioxidants on your skin. You talked a little bit about sunscreen and some of the issues with that, but there are some other really wonderful products that you can put on your body that are nourishing and really helpful when it comes to protecting your skin.
Well, you guys can't see Jacqui, but you guys can't see Jacqui, but she glows. She actually glows. And I think it's not because of the radiation. I think it's because of all of the fruits and vegetables and plants that she eats. I also know that she works out and has a great exercise regimen, but she just really glows from the inside out. And I think that that's probably because of the way that you eat, and that you do eat at least 13. I would say probably more different colors of the rainbow, as you always like to teach. And I'm sure you're going to teach us about that. But Jacqui gives a Health Builder series that she does once a month with Comedy Cures, and it's for free. You sign up on the Comedy Cures homepage, and she takes us through every part of the body and how to keep that as healthy as possible. And Jacqui, just since knowing you and doing our research study together, I crave sugar so much less. I mean, I used to crave desserts. And because you got me eating so many fruits and vegetables, I actually stopped craving processed desserts. They almost taste gross and too sweet. for me now. And so I just want to thank you for that because you've definitely improved my diet.
Well, that was the nicest thing to say about me. Thank you so much. I think I glow because I'm in your presence. So we have a mutual admiration here.
We fangirl people. Jacqui and I just fangirl back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I really adore you.
We're very good for each other. I do think that there is this thing in our body. I like to call it sort of that wisdom of the body, where when you nourish your body with the nutrients that it needs, the nutrients that it wants, then your body craves that, naturally craves it. And when you deviate from that, so say you go and, consume something that is not within your normal healthy routine, you feel it. You feel it in the gut, you feel it in the skin, all of those things. Your body rebels a little bit because it's like, what are you doing to me? Why are you bringing that into your system? You don't necessarily need it there.
I do want to say that when I made the switch from being a dessertaholic and a chocoholic of any kind. Now I only eat very clean chocolate, but when I made that switch, it was about 2 weeks where I suffered a little bit. And now because of all the constant servings of fruits and vegetables, I don't really crave those more toxic desserts.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And it's interesting because one of the things that I find fascinating about when we crave the white stuff, the sugar, is the impact it has on our neurochemicals, things like beta endorphin, dopamine, serotonin. And those are actually brain neurotransmitters that are responsible for helping us feel euphoric, motivated, all of those things. And when we can't feel a boost in those neurochemicals, we reach for the white stuff because it temporarily boosts it. And that really creates a cascade of events or a pathway where we have a very difficult time getting off the I crave sugar and candy. And it's a very difficult habit to break. And so I'm so proud of you for breaking it. I think
Thank you. I do have to clarify. When Jacqui is talking about the white stuff, she is not talking about cocaine.
No.
She's talking about white processed sugar. So I just want to clarify, even though I have heard from people who have broken a cocaine addiction, that they also had a sugar addiction. And they said that they were very similar in coming off of eating white processed sugar and coming off of cocaine.
Well, the neurochemicals are the same. It's the dopamine, beta endorphins, serotonin, and there's other ones as well. And that's why it's really important for us to understand those chemicals and learn how to feed your body what it needs, right? I mean, if we think about where we can get antioxidants, you were talking about smoothies a second ago, and I love that podcast that we did because it gives people creative ideas for how to put as many different varieties of fruits and vegetables in their body. There are many plant-based and food-based substances that have great antioxidant benefits, like carotenoids, like beta carotene that we get in carrots, lycopene that we might get in a tomato, and vitamin C that you get in like an orange or a lemon. And, you can go back and listen to our lemon podcast to learn great examples of ways that you can use lemons. But those are really good examples of ways that we can bring antioxidants in that will inhibit the oxidation issues that are going on in our body that lead to these free radicals. And just to give you some examples of some foods, like I have a huge list, but things like goji berries, wild blueberries or blueberries, they cross the blood-brain barrier and they offer some anti-inflammatory benefits to the brain, really cleaner versions of dark chocolate without all the added sugar in there, pecans and artichokes, elderberry, kidney beans, cranberries, cilantro, pumpkin seeds. And pumpkin seeds, we could do a whole podcast just on pumpkin seeds because they are rich in magnesium, really helpful when it comes to sleep. And it's got protein, fat, and fiber in it. So it's going to help with satiety. lots of good stuff. So you can tell I'm a bit of a pumpkin seed freak. Do you like pumpkin seeds, Saranne?
I I love them, but because of you, I take 10 every night before I go to sleep. I'm telling you, my whole life has changed since we did our first study because I saw the impact that you had on people living with advanced cancer and just improving the quality of their life through all of these suggestions. And I just said, well, I'm going to do it too. And so I take notes on everything you say. And then after every podcast we do together, I incorporate these changes into my life. And I am a walking testimonial that Jacqui's teachings can really help improve your wellness and the quality of your life.
Thank you for saying that. The one thing that I do, I walk the walk and talk the talk. I live this way because I know it's the healthiest for myself. And what's interesting is I would say that it's contagious because my husband and my son, my 13-year-old daughter, she's not there yet, but my husband and my son are very much on board with all of these. And, I weave in like some other antioxidant rich foods like sweet potatoes and pomegranates and all the berries, the strawberries, the blueberries, the blackberries. You can even get, some really great antioxidants in some of your spices and herbs and things like cloves and cinnamon and turmeric. We talked a little bit about the golden milk smoothies that I enjoy in our smoothie recipe because that's a really nice way to bring in some turmeric but also in oregano, parsley, cumin, ginger, thyme, even green tea, right? So there's a whole list of really rich foods, delicious foods that are rich in antioxidants. And people might look at these and say, well, I don't really know how to use these certain foods. Like, I don't know where to bring them into my diet. And our smoothie podcast was a really good example of ways that you can put in just about anything into a smoothie so that you can, some of them you might want to hide because you might not want to put certain food on your plate and eat it, but the flavor can be absorbed in with the rest of the smoothie. But it's a good way to bring in many of the nutrients that are essential for health and healing. And I kind of like to think about that the bottom line is that you really need to help your body help you. You just do. It unfortunately, our society is not helping us any. We go out to restaurants, they're ginormous portions. They're highly processed, chemicalized foods. We want things fastly prepared, which means that they may be highly processed. And those aren't good for our body. Our body doesn't necessarily like processed, chemicalized food. It comes into our system and it's like, I don't know what to do with this.
I remember you saying if you look at a package and it has 10 or more ingredients, that's probably a highly processed bit of food and you should really consider not eating it.
Well, it's a good, so I like to say as a general rule of thumb, if it's got more than 10 ingredients, really pay attention, right? And the biggest cue is that if you cannot pronounce it, please don't eat it. It doesn't belong in your body. If you're sitting there trying to spell out the word and you have no idea what it is, it has no business being in your body. It really doesn't. So, you want to look and see if there's any dyes in it, right? And that's, you'll learn if you're interested in smoothies, you'll learn about some things that you really want to key into on that podcast. But being an informed consumer is very, very important, and knowing how to interpret and read labels. That's a big part of what I do with my clients, making sure that they understand what's in the food. And that saying, you are what you eat, is true, right? You are what you eat, and we really want to pay attention to it. So a couple things to think about that, moving forward with this whole antioxidant topic, because I'm thinking that you, Saranne, are very excited to go out and try some new colorful foods, right? So we want to get lots of different colors if we can. We want to eat the rainbow. And that's, eating the reds, the blues, the purples, the oranges, the yellows. All of those different colors have incredibly healthy benefits to it. So one thing to think about that as we age, we don't produce as many antioxidants as we did when we were younger. So we have the ability to bring more antioxidants in through our diet, right? So unfortunately, as we age, there are certain things that slow down and the production of antioxidants is one of them. And so that's why if we want to keep our immune system strong, we want to make sure that we're finding ways to get these in. And the best way to get them in are through your fruits and vegetables. And a lot of the recommendations you're going to hear that, we need to consume at least 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day. That's not enough, especially as we're aging, especially for somebody like me and Saranne, who we've had a chronic illness that we really want to stay on top of. Ideally, you want to have 9 to 13 servings of antioxidant rich foods for optimal health. That's the goal. And that may feel overwhelming because of a serving size of, kale to count for one of those 13 is a cup, right? And that might feel like a lot of food, or one would be an apple or a banana, right? That's one of the reasons the smoothies are so magical, right? You can just shove a lot of stuff in there and you have the ability to come out with a delicious drink that is just packed with antioxidants that are very, very healing.
I have a question.
Sure.
What about these antioxidant powders and these antioxidant pills? You see them advertised like 7 different fruits and vegetables in this pill, and this powder, super potent antioxidant powder. Would that help, or those aren't so great?
That's a wonderful question, and it's difficult to answer because I will say that there are certain people that it most certainly would be beneficial for, and that would be people that don't have access to certain fruits and vegetables, people that are, dealing with a chronic health issue, maybe have digestive issues, they can't do raw fruits and things like that. Maybe they benefit from a dried or dehydrated version of fruits and vegetables. I always like to say food first if I can, because I believe that the body recognizes, whole, real, clean food first. And then there is definitely a place for supplements in many different cases. And the way I use supplements in my practice are to take someone from deficiency to sufficiency. So we basically see where they're at. And then the ultimate goal is to get, maybe off of the supplements. I know I do take supplements on a regular basis now. And I sort of found my magic cocktail, right? That I do every day for me, but that's unique for my situation. And I highly encourage people to not always listen to your friend or anybody else when they say you've got to do this, but talk to your medical care team to see maybe where there are some gaps that you could benefit.
Wait a second. When she said cocktail, people, she wasn't talking a 5 o'clock a martini. And she also was not talking about a chemo cocktail.
No.
She was talking about her healthy antioxidant, mineral, and vitamin supplement cocktail.
Yes. Yeah. No cocktails for me right now. I have just a nice routine and I've been doing it for 20 years. So if it's not broke, I'm not going to try to fix it right now. So it's definitely working for me and I feel pretty amazing. I do think that, we've really put this spotlight on antioxidants and why it's so important to bring them into our life. But one of the things I want to really emphasize is to help people understand that we really want to stop leaching our body of vital nutrients, because when we leach our body of nutrients, it creates a level of inflammation and leaves us vulnerable to sickness. And you're probably like, what am I doing that's leaching my body? Right? So there are behaviors that we have that hurt our body. Things like too much sugar, the white stuff, sugar, too much stress, right? And I remember when I was diagnosed with cancer and they kept telling me to relax. I'm like, really? How am I supposed to relax? I mean, Saranne was brilliant bringing comedy into her world, because I think comedy is fantastic because it gives you the opportunity to focus on that one feeling, and it gives you just an opportunity to check out from the stress of day-to-day living. And I just think it's extraordinary what you've done with Comedy Cures for sure. The other thing that we want to make sure that we do is to stop smoking, reduce alcohol, or even eliminate alcohol. and even improving our sleep hygiene. There's a lot of research now that is putting a spotlight on sleep as a huge culprit in our inflammation in our body and chronic illness. And I think we are a very plugged in society. We don't have a chance to decompress. We really can't hide or get away from anybody anymore. They can find us no matter where we go. And I think sometimes that can hurt. My daughter.
She's really telling you the truth, people. She turns her phone off so early at night. And I am usually having lunch about 9:30 when Jacqui's going to sleep. And I'm just like, oh, I really need to tell Jacqui something. Okay, she's in bed now. She really does it.
Well, I really work hard to find a way to nourish myself, and staying away from the phone sometimes is really the way to do it. And even I said my youngest child goes to a camp over the summer for 7 weeks, and it's unplugged. There's no phones, there's no computers, there's no electricity. And people probably think, oh my goodness, you're so mean to your kid. She loves it. It's her third summer going, and she's swimming, kayaking. It's just kind of clean living and getting back in touch and getting away from those devices that, are just everywhere. And I think COVID.
Can we go, Jacqui? Can we just go? Like you, let's go be camp counselors. Let's be camp counselors. Can you imagine if I posted a sign? Sorry, Beating Cancer Daily is on hiatus.
We have our retreat. We have our retreat.
Jacqui and I are unplugging, and we're going to go to camp with our daughter and have no electricity.
So much of what benefits our body is connected, right? So when you help your brain, you're going to help your eyes. When you help your eyes, you're going to help your gut. I mean, everything is connected. So keeping that in mind, that everything that you do matters when it comes to reducing free radical damage to our bodies, right? And that's what I love people to understand, is that this is not a huge life overhaul. This is small changes that you can make that will make a significant difference. If you wake up tomorrow and you start bringing in more fruits and vegetables into your life, you've already improved your situation. So it just requires us to be more diligent and more aware. And that's why I was so excited to do this podcast with you today, because antioxidants are so important. And I really hope that this created a compelling why for you, that you want to bring these into your life, because, it's really critical when it comes to staying healthy.
Can I give people a good compelling why? I'll tell you, I looked at face creams with the antioxidants in it because we were going to do this, and they wanted $350 or $500 for a little tiny container of face cream. I was like, heck, I could get some wild blueberries and eat the rainbow and not have to pay that for this little jar of cream. So
Right. And that goes back to that lemon podcast where we talked about putting some of the antioxidant juices of the lemon on our skin.
We keep referencing some of these great podcasts that Jacqui and I have done. And honestly, I have to plug the poop. That's pretty funny. Plug the poop podcast. Because if you haven't heard that one, it is epic. You will learn so much about your health by just listening to Jacqui teach us about how to look in the toilet. I know it sounds bizarre, but it's
don't
really
reach
good.
in and squeeze. Remember we talked about that, Saranne. No more reaching in and squeezing, right? You can just look. You can look, but you don't touch.
It's so gross. Well, I have a fountain of youth joke for you, because I just figured I had to do something about antioxidants, and I didn't have time to write an antioxidant joke. So I thought this was a little bit cute. Drank from the fountain of youth, broke out in acne. Do you get it?
I don't. Wait a minute. I drank from the fountain of youth and I broke out in
acne.
But what's the acne part?
Because
you can't play this. You can't play this.
No, this is the funniest part because when you go back in time, you go back to your teenage years, and
I know what acne is.
Traditionally, you have acne. So if you drink from the fountain of youth and it restores you to youth.
Get it. I get it, girl.
This is the best part of every podcast ever.
You cannot play this. You know what my husband would say? I'm so bad at getting jokes sometimes. I'm the one that laughs last because I go, oh, funny. But now I get it. That's so funny.
So I want to thank Jacqui for giving us another incredible episode of Beating Cancer Daily. And Jacqui, I can't wait till we pick our next topic and we record again. So check out Jacqui's podcast. She comes on about every other week to every 2 weeks, and they're worth every minute of listening. They are longer. Traditionally, Beating Cancer Daily is a bite-sized podcast, but I just have to let Jacqui teach, and that makes them longer, but we love them. So if you haven't heard other episodes, just know that some are funny, some are motivational, some are inspirational, and some are like Jacqui's episodes, which are just so rich and full of information to help us just create the best version of ourselves. So Jacqui, please come back again.
Oh, I can't wait. This is so much fun. Thank you so much, Saranne.
You're welcome. And remember, go to comedycures.org and hit on the Health Builder series and sign up. It's just like a few questions to sign up for our free monthly webinar. And if you want to reach Jacqui, either to learn more about her practice or work with her on curriculum or something with hospital education, just contact the Comedy Cures Foundation either by hitting the record button or going to the contact button, and we will send you her full signature if you haven't been able to easily find Jacqui Bryan online. Thank you so much, Jacqui.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day, and I'll see you tomorrow. If you loved today's episode, then tell the world. Why? Because Beating Cancer Daily and our membership circle are both a listener and donor supported experience. So the more people you tell and the more people that join us, the more robust and interesting programs our nonprofit, the Comedy Cures Foundation, can bring to you throughout the year. I really want you to go to comedycures.org. And of course, I always want you to make a donation. It's tax deductible to the extent allowed by law. But what's super exciting is not only can you laugh and explore the comedy there, you can look at our membership levels and find the one that's great for you. And if you're feeling a little bit generous, gift one to a chemo brother or sister or to a caregiver that you just want to help them improve the quality of their day. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Guess what time it is? It's time for me to read the disclaimer. Beating Cancer Daily and the membership circle are not in lieu of medical advice or treatment. They are for entertainment purposes only. Please consult your healthcare team to review your best strategy. Thanks for listening.